Bonjour S3 and welcome to the week beginning the 8th of June where we're going to continue on with our practice of the perfect tense so that you can talk about a holiday that you've taken in the past. So last week we looked at how to form the past tense or the passé composé using the verb avoir. Now that you've got that sussed, this week we're going to look at the other way of forming it, which you use with specific verbs, and that is forming it with the verb être. So the principle is exactly the same thing. You take all your subject pronouns as usual, but at this time, instead of the verb avoir, you're going to use the verb être, the verb to be. So those are all your endings there. Hopefully you recognise them from first year. And again, the third part that you add on is the past participle. Now there are only specific verbs that take être instead of avoir, and unfortunately there's no quick way around that, you just have to learn them. But there is a mnemonic to help you learn it and it's called Mrs. van der Tramp. Okay, and the verbs generally have got to do with movement. Okay, and that is them all listed there. Now, there will be certain ones, again, like I always say to you, that you will use more often than others, and it's more important. You also use this format if you are talking about reflexive verbs, but I'm not going to spend too long talking about that just now, but just so that you're aware of it. So moving on to your tasks for the week. This first thing that I want you to do is to just get you practicing the verb être, and all I need you to do is to put in the verb endings. Okay, you can look back the slides to help you if you need to, but hopefully this is a verb that you're quite familiar with. Now last week we looked at the past participles and we looked at the fact that there's different endings for the ER verbs, the IR verbs and the RE verbs. So all I want you to do in this final column here is to put what you think the past participle would look like based on the rules that you learned last week. Okay, what did the ER change to, what did IR change to, and what did RE change to? Now they're all mixed in these three groups of verbs together, so you need to look at them each individually as you go. In this task, what I want you to do is to take the verb that's at the end of the sentence in the brackets. So in the first one, for example, aller, and I want you to change it to its past participle. So remember, you're taking off the ER and adding E acute, and then putting that in the gap. Okay, so nice and easy. Go through that, but remember again to think about that there's different groups of verbs in there. There's some ER, some RE, and some IR. So just be careful that you're paying attention to how these different groups change. So here I want you to look at these sentences and look really carefully at the past participles in them and see if you can notice something that is different from the rules that you've learned so far. Try and think about who's being talked about in the sentence and how the spelling has changed on the ends of some of these past participles. Think about other rules you know to do with French grammar and see if you can work out what the pattern might be and what the rule might be. Here you have three simple short texts which show the use of both the past and the present tense together and show you how you can combine these to make a more interesting little passage. What you're being asked to do is to identify from each little passage the name of the person, where they normally go on holiday, and what they did last year. So just get you to recognise which tense is being used and extract some information. Okay? Nice and simple. In these next few slides, all that you've been asked to do is to try and work out which tense is being used. Is it a past tense or is it a present tense? So can you recognise by looking at the words in blue which tense is being used? This will be useful when you're doing reading passages and also listening passages that you can recognise which tense. This task is a translation task, so you have passages in French and what you're being asked to do is to write out what they mean in English. You should recognise the majority of the vocabulary from all the work that we've done over the last 3 weeks, but there might be the odd little word that you're not sure of, so you may use an online dictionary such as the Collins French Dictionary Online, which I've given you the link to in the past, to help you. Your final task this week is to try and do a little bit of translation back into French. So saying some simple sentences using all of the vocabulary that we've learned over the last few weeks. You've got some vocab boxes at the bottom here to help you put together some parts of the sentence that you're maybe not sure of. But it should be fairly straightforward for you all. Okay, hope you have another great week, and I look forward to getting all your work when you submit it.